Oh no, we've got a flat tire. Somebody help me, I've got a flat tire! No problem, use your air compressor to put a little air in there. Get it on a lift and bust the wheel off with your impact gun. Take it over to the tire machine and dismount the tire so we can do an internal patch. Easy like Sunday morning. What? You don't have an air compressor? Or a vehicle lift? Or a tire machine? Well, I guess that explains why you're here. Let's see what we can do to get out of this mess. Some quick business. First, a couple of special shout-outs. Garrett Bruh 4870, welcome to the community. Your kind words were just the thing a guy needed to keep going. You are absolved of the sins of inadequate masking for paint work, and as an added bonus, will forgive the poor color matching you achieved and didn't know I was aware of. For having the temerity to take on a job as big as a respray without prior experience, you have achieved the rank of Future Shaman of America. And if you reach out with your email, we'll get you a copy of this super dandy certificate of achievement. Next, Jessica Mo-X3P. For being the channel's most stalwart supporter and the Auto Shaman's #1 fan, you'll be gifted this Auto Shaman Seal of Excellence. For promoting positivity, keeping a guy on track, and always believing in me. Thank you. Last, while we do invite and encourage criticism and healthy debate in the comments section, it would be helpful if they were actual criticisms. For example, your sound quality sucks. Or, the Generation 2 Sienna had a terrible transmission. How could you consider that a reliable car? Simply saying the video is rubbish doesn't help me to improve. So Aussie John 1458, it's the cone of shame. You save that kind of attitude for the Reddit forums or your mom's boyfriend. As always, best comment on this week's video gets absolution from a prior car sin. Standout junior shamans may be awarded with a certificate of approval or achieve the status of fully enlightened auto shaman. I am but one of many, and we meet alternate Tuesdays at the 4Bs in the banquet room. If you get a chuckle, enjoy the show, or learn something new, please leave a like, let me know in the comments, and subscribe if you're not already. So, you have a flat tire. Now what? If you really want to just kick back and let the world work for you, blow a call into AAA and someone with a high visibility vest and a fancy truck will come by and mount the spare for you. You're burning one of your limited calls on something you can fix yourself, but hey, you paid for it, use it. They won't fix the tire or replace it, but they will be happy to mount the spare so you can drive to your local tire shop for a repair or a new set of shoes. So you don't want to burn a AAA call on a spare, and you're feeling up to the task of changing your own tire. As with anything in life, the separation is in the preparation. While your car will likely come equipped with the tools to replace the tires, it might be worth considering arming yourself with some better tools to make the job easier and make sure it's done right. These types of scissor floor jacks that come with most cars are, 1, kind of dangerous, and 2, a pain in the butt to use. I can't say enough that a good hydraulic jack is worth its weight in gold when you need one. Jack stands will keep a body from sucking some asphalt up into your trousers when the car inevitably shifts with your legs underneath it. You can pick up a 2-ton floor jack at Harbor Freight for $50. A set of usable jack stands will run you another $50, or keep your eyes peeled at garage sales and marketplace. A full set can be had for $25 if you're patient. While you are there, I want you to pick up a 1/2-inch breaker bar and a 1/2-inch drive torque wrench, as well as the appropriate deep well socket for your lugs or bolts. I don't expect you to keep a jack and jack stands in your trunk, but the bar, torque wrench, and socket should be married to your car. Have a completely different set for your toolbox, and when you're done with these ones, put them back in your trunk. If you have one of these star wrenches, or lug wrenches as they're sometimes known, go ahead and throw that thing in the dumpster. Half of those sizes are fractional and are either wrong for your car, or worse, just close enough to make you think they are right and round off the faces of the nut. Furthermore, the torque is way out from the head of the drive tool by its design, and when you inevitably stand on it for torque, they have been known to shear the studs right off the knuckle. Gah! Hey, what are you doing over there? You stay away from that electric impact gun. I know, cool and tempting. I can't stop you from buying one, but if you use it to reinstall that wheel, I will haunt your dreams for a term of 20 years for each use. This isn't the movies, you're not a professional, and they shouldn't be using them to install either. Step 1. Get the tools you need and the spare out of your trunk. It's nice to have everything on hand and close by because limiting the amount of time you spend getting up and down will save your back and make this go a lot faster. Step 2. Place the vehicle in park for an automatic or in first or reverse if it's a manual. Set the parking brake. That's this thing. I moved from a place with hills to a flat country and everyone laughs at me for setting it. But I'm an old dog and you're asking about new tricks. I digress. Chalk your wheels on the axle that will be remaining on the ground. You don't have to get fancy with this. Some bits of wood or decent rocks, whatever you can find. Heck, I've used a Bic lighter in the past. One on either side of the wheel. Now, this is where people get ahead of themselves and put their car in the air. It's important you get the lugs broken free before you lift your vehicle. You're not strong enough to hold the wheel and overcome their torque, Hercules. So let's let gravity and concrete work together in our favor. We chalk the wheels before this step to reduce the motion of the car and make our lives a little easier. See, there is a method to my madness. Step 3. Place the appropriate socket on the breaker bar or grab the car's tire tool. Place the socket onto the lug so that the tool is facing as close to 90 degrees upright as possible. Many will be tempted to go 90 degrees to the ground so they can stand on it or lean their weight into it, but hear me out. It is much safer to pull on a drive tool than to push it. When the fastener eventually gives up, things can go flying, resulting in skinned knuckles or rolled ankles depending on your approach. Much better for your hands to find your chest than the ground. Get down on one knee and pull that hog towards you. Remember, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. Another way to think about it is clockwise or counterclockwise. If we want to go back, we go counterclockwise, and if we want to go in or forward, we go clockwise. If it's giving you trouble, you can lean back and pull. If it's still not breaking loose, then call the tire shop and complain about them over-torquing it or maybe hit the gym. Another option would be to lock your arms about mid-pull and bounce back with your weight a few times. Don't take them all the way out, we're just breaking things loose here. Step 4. Okay, the lugs are loose. Time to get the jack out. Get down low and look at the underside of your vehicle. You'll either have a frame that looks something like this, or a pinch weld that looks something like this. Your owner's manual, you know, that thing in your glove box? No, not that. Yeah, that one. Will tell you the best place to put your jack. Very often it is made obvious or marked with arrows, cutouts, or clearly reinforced. Place your jack roughly under that area and bring the jack up until it just kisses the lift point. Now make sure you have the jack flat and square on the floor and right on the jacking point. Bring the vehicle off the ground. If you're not using jack stands, raise the vehicle enough to get the tire clear of the ground. Place your jack stands, if you have them, on the frame area of the pinch weld away from the jack or in the lower control arm or rear axle. Give the vehicle a little shake. If this thing is going to come off the jack, the best time is with the wheel still on it, so we may as well encourage it to happen if it's going to happen. Remove the loose lug nuts and put them somewhere safe. You've seen A Christmas Story, you don't want that to be you. Remove the old wheel and place it to the side. Check the hub and make sure that it's clean and that nothing is going to interfere with installing the spare. Offer up the spare to the hub. You may find if you have a full-size spare full of air, you will need to raise the vehicle a little more to clear the larger tire. Top tip. Lining the holes up with the studs can be a real pain in the rear. If you sit on your butt and slide your legs out straight under the hub, you can roll the wheel onto your thighs and raise and lower the wheel with a little squeeze, and it won't roll around. It should just sit on the studs once it's in there. Clear your legs once it's mounted, and push the wheel flush to the hub. Install a lug onto the lowest stud. If you use the lowest stud, the wheel won't cantilever away from the hub, and you can snug up the rest of the lugs. Don't try and torque them at this point for the same reason you didn't try to break them loose with the vehicle in the air. Step 6. Raise the vehicle off the jack stands or lower the vehicle to the ground. In all likelihood, you'll be able to find the appropriate torque in the owner's manual, but there may be a little Googling to do here. Set your torque wrench and apply the torque to the wheels in a crisscross pattern. Here is a diagram for the most common lug arrangements. It's important to do this so the wheel won't end up cockeyed and leave you shaking going down the road. See, that was easy, and a little sweaty and greasy, but you did it. Nice work. Here are some things to consider. If the tire that is flat is on your front axle, you might think about taking the time to move a good wheel from the back to the front. It's a lot more jacking, and you sort of have to play a farmer's river riddle of mount the spare to the front, put the bad tire on the rear, move the good tire back to the front, and then the spare to the rear. That's up and down 4 times and twice as many lugs to break free and torque, but consider this. The front axle is very often a drive wheel, and 100% of the time it's a steering wheel. The front tires get more strain put on them, and especially if you've got to get back on the freeway, that little donut spare is going to prove to be a liability if you have to make some high-speed evasive maneuver. It really is best practice, but I understand if you can't be bothered. But just consider the advice, and maybe, especially if you're light on cash and tend to roll on this thing for a while, maybe take the time. Okay, let's talk about fixing this tire. If the damage is anywhere in the sidewall, it's game over for the tire, and you're going to be on the hook for at least 2 tires. You should replace them in a matched axle set, and probably 4 if you have an all-wheel drive vehicle. If you have a puncture in the tread of the tire and it's more than 2 fingers widths away from the edge, you can likely repair the tire. Very often the valve stem goes bad and air gets out that way, and it's possible if you hit a good pothole that you crack the rim. Get yourself a little squirt bottle and put some water and Dawn dish soap inside. Drive over to a gas station and put some air in the tire and spray this thing down to figure out where the leak is coming from. Most shops can repair a tire if it still has some life in it. Some may say, "We don't repair tires, it's a safety concern, you gotta buy new tires." Unless it's because the tire is bald or it's in a non-repairable area, they are full of it. A plug-over patch will hold just like a new tire if it's installed correctly. Go find another tire shop. You can get tire plug kits for about $30 at the parts store. They work, but I'd want to see a puncture probably 4 fingers away from the edge of the sidewall to reduce the chance of it coming out in a high-speed corner. They are a pain to use. I will say that. I've done hundreds of them and still fight with it every time, and I'm a fairly good-sized guy. It's not for the faint of heart. The valve stem is not likely something you will be able to replace at home. You need to break the tire free from the rim and replace it from the inside. If it's just a regular valve stem, they are pennies on the dollar, although these new whiz-bang ones with the TPMS sensor in them can run several $100s. Repairable nonetheless. What more can I say? Not sure. If you have good ideas, let the community know in the comments. Anyone can change a tire. Be empowered, be safe, and check the pressure in your spare occasionally. Nothing worse than mounting the spare and finding out it's flat too. If you want to support the channel, please subscribe and leave a like or leave a comment. Things are really building, and I want to keep giving this community everything I've got. As always, thank you for your time.